Okay, quick cold open for everyone here. This episode that we're doing right now was originally supposed to be our April Fool's episode. But since we are a key podcast, naturally we had some announcements to talk about on April Fool's Day. So we didn't get to do it then, and it kept getting pushed off week after week after week until we could finally record it. So if you are interested in our very shitposty April Fool's episode, enjoy. Thank you very much, and welcome to Key Radio Live.
Good evening, and welcome to Key Radio Live, where we can finally talk about what the Darkness executives have been keeping under wraps for so long. Oh boy, this is good. So, we have a Little Busters related episode tonight, and I have brought on, for technically the second time, two general members of the server. I'm joined by Whisperic and FalconTed tonight. So,
Hey.
what up?
Hey,
I am Whisperic.
I'm FalconTed, also known as Big Chungus.
AKA
I'm known
Big
for being
Chungus.
extremely funny, by the way.
Yeah, you are the comedic relief for this server, which is perfect for an episode like tonight because we actually have to get into some really technical crap in the Little Busters visual novel because we are talking about Little Busters competitive battling. Which actually does exist because it.
Are you ready?
Because the Darkness executive said so.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're making a tier list of the Little Busters weapons.
Yeah.
Is what we're doing here tonight. And I have taken a long time to reveal what's actually happening, but it's something we need to talk about because there's a lot of interesting stuff that goes into this, which is just really, really cool.
Now, before we start talking about that, I'd just like to say the gun is an F tier. That weapon cannot land a dent on anybody.
It is... Yeah...
Which gun though? Like, if we're talking about the machine gun that's only available for Kengo when he's combating the Science Club's technological weapons, that thing fires off 6 shots and they almost always hit.
Well, think about it this way: the pellet gun, it shoots 1 bullet at a time, but it has more impact. Think about it. All right, Lucia, you can. Why is your profile picture that?
You just noticed this now?
Yes. All right, you start, Lucia. Let's go.
Amazing. All right, I'm just going to kind of go in order of what's here. There are over 100 of these things, but a lot of them are very similar, so it's not going to be a 2-hour episode, don't worry. But we start with, perfect for an episode with you two, we start with all the balls.
Ooh, I love balls.
Yeah. Thanks, man, pig. Okay, so, the balls are... I don't think any of them are exclusive to characters except for the crate with all the basketballs, which I believe only Masato can get. Now...
That's a lot of balls.
Yeah, which...
I mean, to get to that size, you need pretty big balls. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yep. It's typical Masato. So, but before we get to talking about Masato's big balls, we got to talk about the golf ball, which I have never actually rolled. I think it's already age restricted. Manpig says, yeah, I'm going to have to do some serious editing. But the golf ball I've never actually rolled. Who can even roll this thing?
I mean, personally, I've never seen it.
All right, so we got to already make a new tier. We'll just call it I don't effing know.
I mean, if we think about it like logically, as someone who's been hit in the head with a golf ball at full speed, it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, but I'm going to assume that the accuracy is really low. When it comes to accuracy, boy, we're going to talk about some things.
But you got to consider the texture of it. Like, look at all the other balls. They're made of hard plastic compared to the golf ball's harder plastic.
Solid.
Yeah.
All right. So let's throw it in A if we're assuming this thing does a lot of damage. But the rest of them I have actually rolled. So we could talk a little bit. We could talk a little bit more about those. Wiffle ball, definitely D tier, because only the girls can get it. And they already have lower arm strength, so with throwing it just it doesn't do very much.
Yeah, just for being sexist, it gets a D tier for me.
Well, it's not really sexist, because here's the thing. Here's the thing that we didn't talk about. The equalizer here is that even though the girls generally have lower stats than the guys, they get full choice at their weapons. The guys have to use whatever they catch, which automatically makes Riki the weakest character in the game. So
exactly. Little Busters is just a visual novel with a lot of prejudice. But let's ignore that now.
I mean, if you think about it, Ricky's just like a girl in a man's body. So he really should get his choice in weapons, but
I wish.
They don't give us that femboyship.
Yeah.
Shame.
Don't worry. And when Little Busters 2 comes out, they'll fix that.
Little Busters 2 Electric Boogaloo. All right. The volleyball and the basketball are about the same. They're better than the wiffle ball, but not by much. But when we talk about the big crate of basketballs, that's our first exclusive weapon. And the exclusive weapons tend to be pretty fantastic. Masato, you can only get this as Masato, and only if Masato has won the battle rankings at least once.
So what you're saying is that this basketball could be considered B tier because it is imbued with Masato's raw muscular energy.
Let's call it A.
Exactly.
Well, basketballs are strong on their own, and
above and below golf ball though.
If you have a lot of basketballs, that would just multiply it. So I think, like, based on the fact that you're multiplying it and that it's an exclusive weapon, it should probably be put in the S tier.
Maybe we shouldn't we make a tier called lots of balls just for that though? Considering
why the frick not
times 1,000 exactly. So let's just make it.
Sure, I'm on it right now. This is gonna be a ridiculous.
Yeah, let me make lots of balls category.
I'm putting it between S and A.
You should probably post a screenshot right now so our viewers can catch up on this.
Yeah. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, all two of you who actually decided to watch this episode, you will see the tier list as I am making it, but those of you in the live audience will just see little bits every few minutes as Wisp posts them. All right, the bouncy balls are, or the marbles rather, are a harder cut exclusive weapon, and they basically render everyone else immobile. So easy S tier there.
Yeah.
Cake mix. I've never rolled this. I don't know what it does.
It's cake mix, so it could be considered God tier by normal standards.
Well, God tier we should save for one particular weapon, and I already know what's gonna go there. So.
I get what you mean by that.
Yeah, that's a bit unfair, but considering cake mix, the uses for that, I mean, powdered weapons and little busters such as dirt, and like there's a few others that are powdered, have the ability to blind opponents. I've never rolled cake mix, so I can't confirm this.
Right.
But I imagine it might be a possibility.
Yeah, so let's throw it in A for now, unless someone in chat can confirm that for us.
Yeah, we'll make that tentative.
Chalk, terrible, D tier. The pillow, I think it's Cood exclusive, and it's not very good, C.
Hold on, Lucia. Chalk is one of the ones that can blind people.
Where's Chalk?
Oh, Chalk can blind people. All right, at least C, but its damage output is ridiculously low.
I'd put it below pillow personally though.
Below pillow?
Pillow
Got
is
it.
still an exclusive weapon.
Nice pillow.
Yes.
All right. What is what?
Marbles go again?
S.
All right, got it.
Yep. Thanks. Renders anyone completely immobile if they trip on them. It's just a harder cut roll. The dirt you mentioned before, should we put dirt above or below Kate Mix, Teddy? What do you think?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I'd say we put it above.
Above, okay, but below the golf ball. Cool.
Yeah.
Sea urchins. These can wreck shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the thing is with the sea urchins is that they're not an easy roll, you know, because you can only get them after Riki has won the battle rankings at least once, but they're not Riki exclusive. So once Riki gets access to them, everyone gets access to them.
Yeah, I think that makes it kind of mid, personally.
Ooh.
Because if it's meant to be an exclusive weapon for the weakest character, but then everyone can get access, that's a hard D tier to me personally.
But it's a strong weapon, and I think we should base it on the objective power of that weapon.
I can see that.
Have to take it out into account other factors. And by the way, I already lost track of the list by now, so I'm just going off verbal.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
All right. So I say we are having trouble agreeing on this, and obviously the three of us are the biggest experts on this topic, more than anyone else who's ever dug into the code or anything.
Yeah, we studied this for a week just for this podcast, so
yeah, so all right, let's split the difference. We'll throw it in C. I'm going to put it above the pillow but below the basketball. The group of sea urchins does exactly the same thing. It's just you get multiple hits, so we'll put it at the top of C.
Yeah.
Done. Soccer ball is identical to the volleyball in every way. We'll just put it right next to it. The football is identical to the volleyball and the soccer ball, but has higher accuracy, so that automatically puts it in B. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Cool.
That sounds good to me.
All right. The ping pong paddle. Tenzen would be very proud of me to say.
This is a Summer Pockets reference, and as Little Busters was created after Summer Pockets, I think we should also consider it for its reference value, personally.
I'm totally in agreement here. So what do we think? A? I don't think we can put it in the same tier as the marbles, and it doesn't exactly have lots of balls.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the ping pong should be a high B tier.
High B above the football?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. I'm good with that. Now the badminton racket is just a worse version of the tennis racket in every way.
It's inferior. It's not Tenzen. It's Hyrie. So we gotta put in like D or C.
Ooh.
One of those tiers.
Throwing shade at Hyrie right now.
Yeah.
Is Platty still in chat? I don't think Platty would appreciate that. Oh no, Platty likes Ryuichi more. What am I talking about? Whoops.
Yeah, let's yeah. Hyrie's
All right.
opinion doesn't matter. He doesn't have a personality in the first place. So C or D tier.
Actually, that's not true. Shiki Route. Reflection Blue hype. Sorry, you two haven't read Reflection Blue yet. I should stop. All right, so badminton racket in D, tennis racket in C. We good with that?
Sounds good, Chief.
Okay. Thanks, Big Chunkus.
No problem.
All right, whatever this stick thingy is, I don't know what it is. I've never rolled it. What about you two?
Personally, I cannot say what that is because this is a PG-13 podcast. However, thanks to knowing what it is, personally, I believe it should be an A tier.
Ooh. Stick thingy. Teddy, any agreement?
On podcast, but please A tier.
Okay.
I think I've seen it once, and I remember it doing a lot of damage.
Instead of hurting people, it's used to make someone happier, in a way.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it goes very deep with its happiness. So I believe it should be an A tier.
I could even say that's probably brings more happiness than a golf ball to the head, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, man. Pig, you got it right.
Pig, you're getting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with sticks is that the bigger they are, the happier they make you.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Personally, one time I felt this stick. It was like on a tree. It was phenomenal.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, who knows if they got this off a tree? Because remember, they're being thrown XXX. Thanks, Platty. All right. So, but then we got the stick that's shorter but has more girth.
Ooh.
As a fan of girth, we have to put that higher than a long stick.
Okay, fair enough. We'll put that at the top of A then.
Okay. This is that. There we go. Because think about it. Since it's filling up the.
It hits harder. It hits harder. It's heavier.
Yeah, it can go faster.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know about that, but it depends
Yeah.
on the stats of the person using it. All right, the Nagi Pai. Now, here's the thing about the Nagi Pai.
Yeah.
It's one of the most iconic weapons in the series because of its use in the first episode of the anime. That being said, it sucks. Like,
Yeah.
there is definitely some nostalgia love for this thing, but if we're going objectively, it's got to go an F.
So this is actually one of the few weapons in the game that gets a quote from Kyosuke. So I'm gonna read that off to y'all.
Oh, please, please.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, hold on. Since some people, so wait, Masato has already used it in battle, so I give the green light. Kyosuke. See, as a Masato being obviously the strongest, he used it in battle. I think we just have to give it a little boost for that.
Yeah.
And this is a direct Kyosuke quote.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right, so what do we do? What do we do, boys? Bottom of D?
First, I think it should be middle of D because it still
Okay.
has that iconic value, and that it has a thing with the fans. You gotta respect their opinion.
Yeah, gotta respect the fans, gotta respect the
Yeah.
anime because
We are
everyone
fans,
knows that
you
the Little Busters anime is obviously the best anime of all time. So there
Yeah,
you go.
clearly. And since we all know key keepers are secretly key staff in secret spying on us filthy Americans, we have to take their opinion into account.
Ooh, yeah, and the general opinion of the key keepers, I believe, is that the Little Busters anime is good. So,
Yeah.
and that might be the first thing I. What? Never mind. All right. So the. I don't know what to call this thing. The game calls it a staff. I think it's a bad translation, but it's a ninja staff basically.
It looks like a cigar.
It does. I don't know what the difference between the two of them is because
So
there are two.
one of the so those are seals. One of them is they're seals. Hold on, because I've had one of these before. It's one of these is a Tanaka family seal, and I don't know what the other seal is because I cannot read
Can't read
whatever
the
type
kanji.
of letter. Yeah, but I know one of them is Tanaka family seal in the game, and it does do like a decent amount of damage, and it's a pretty rare roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, personally, I think since we can use it for ninjutsu and the sacred ninja arts, due to its seal, we should consider it as an A tier.
I would agree with that, but I do have to put it below dirt.
For sure.
Okay, cool. We'll put them both right next to each other, right below dirt.
And also, chat, you all need to relax. Stop talking about the grip of the stick, weirdos.
Yeah, for real. When did this chat become so not safe for work? Thanks,
yeah, exactly.
Extra.
We're doing a podcast right now. you all are hosts just like us. Get with the program.
For real. All right. The files. Okay, now here's the thing about the files. This is the first time we've come across a weapon that functions differently based on the character using it.
Yeah.
So if Masato or Kengo rolls this weapon, it's terrible because they don't know how to use it properly.
Yeah, they don't have the mental capacity to use it.
Exactly. But if one of the girls like Mio or Haruka rolls it, they actually learn how to dodge everything. So it's basically an instant win for the girls. Now, do we judge it based on its best quality or based on its average?
I'm not sure. Maybe we should round both.
We should factor in its potential.
Instinct. Yeah, so personally, I think we should just take both into account and round. Lucia.
All right.
I'm with that.
My instinct is to throw it in B because it is completely dependent on who gets it.
Understandable.
Okay, I'll put it at the top of B, and the clear file, which basically is the same thing, we'll put it right next to it because a lot of these are clones. All right. Yeah. Man-Pig is in chat, so we got to talk about the robots, which are, let's be real, they're basically Gundams.
Yeah, the furry suits.
Thanks, Wisp.
So the Pokemon, personally, I think that the Digimon should go into at least A tier. First off, so we don't make all these filthy subhuman mecha fans angry. And second, so that we can take into account their stats.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, all of them are not particularly amazing, but they are quite durable. So you got to give them points for that. I would put all 3 of them at the bottom of B.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Below the football. There we go. Done. They're all pretty similar. There are probably minuscule differences in attacking strength and accuracy, but nothing to be worth it.
It's important to note for these that these are one of the ones noted by Kyosuke, and he does say that the person can only fight by manipulating the robot, which means they're like severely limited in what you can do with them, because you can't just bash in someone's skull with them. You have to manipulate the robot to fight for you, like a Gundam, except it's miniature.
Yeah. And to read off one of the sentences from our detailed notes on the weapons, they said Evangelion mid for these notes. So yeah.
I don't recall the notes saying that, because I'm pretty sure Evangelion is an S tier anime. So we're just gonna
on
redact
this list, I would
that
put
statement.
Evangelion and S tier as a weapon.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Lucia, you're wrong.
Yeah, you can watch it though. It's pretty good.
I've actually never seen it, so I can't say.
All right, next is the toy card thing, I think. Is that
right?
The let's call it the toy
car.
though. In the beginning, there was nothing, and then Jun Maeda became a god and created that. So personally, I think it should be S tier.
I wouldn't quite put it above the marbles, but it does hit really flippin' hard. So S, and then the tricycle and the bicycle are basically the car, but lower damage output, and also for some reason harder to roll.
And one final thing I'd like to take into account with that is that it's the only vehicle that can be ridden by Could aside from her dogs. So I think that should bring it up.
So you want to put the car above the marbles?
Yes, that's my argument, because only Could can fit in it. And as we know, these fans love Could for her various aspects. So,
right.
It has something to do with her size and emotional maturity. I'm just going to put that out there.
I mean,
her maturity.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, the bikes. I'm throwing the bikes at the bottom of A, but keep going.
Yeah. All right, next is the
I don't even know what this thing is.
The blue fire extinguisher.
So one of these is the 60 gigabyte MP3 player, and the other is probably a smaller MP3 player. And as we've discussed, bigger is in fact better.
Yeah.
Right. So
unless it's Could. But if you look at the cord, you can see that there's a very slight difference between the two. In the blue, in the light blue one, the cord is slightly sticking out, the metal part. So therefore, it's partially disconnected. And in the white one, it's fully connected. So therefore, the white one is better, in my opinion.
Okay, that's a good point.
Could have phrased that a little better.
Because, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, because Wisp has a point here. Kyosuke did say it is in the rules of the game here, and we obviously know everyone follows the rules 100% of the time. So it is saying in the rules of the game that you have to use the weapon as intended. So if you're using a turn to plug the cord all the way in, that's a turn wasted.
Exactly.
So maybe the small one does go higher than the big one for the MP3 players only. When it comes to the sticks, the big one's better. So
and plus, you can listen to "Song for Friends" on only the white MP3 player.
You had to mention "Song for Friends."
Just say it was Paul with Tiny Hand. Then we can.
Don't, Ted. But yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so here's the thing: because "Song for Friends" exists, I want to put the MP3 players in A tier, but even with Song for Friends, they're not higher than the sticks. So I'll put them directly below the sticks.
Yeah, we all know Song for Friends is a terrible song anyway, so yeah.
Oh, ouch. You made Manpig really mad. All right, the newspaper. This is another iconic one from the anime. and one that any of the girls and Ricky can roll, but the other guys cannot. And it's actually probably a good thing because lower arm strength is better for this weapon. It does more damage because it's less likely to break.
Yeah, and I'd like to add that this weapon is not sexist, unlike the other weapon from before, because it includes Ricky alongside the other girls.
So yeah, I think the newspaper can definitely go at the top of B for that reason, because it kind of flips the design around. The magazine is basically the same thing, but it doesn't have the reverse damage output.
What kind of magazine is it?
I can't really tell from the photo. I don't think it says in the translation.
It's Kyosuke's lowly hentai. We're going with that.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh, it's art, Lucia. We may not be able to see the name on this secret transmission, but I personally think we should put in S tier for those who want to research it.
I want to put it in D for that reason. So, Teddy, you're the equalizer here.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, it is possible that it contains the hidden rewrite H scenes, so we might want to put it in A tier.
Exactly. Thank you,
All right,
Ted.
I'll accept that. But the thing is, do we put Kyosuke's magazine above or below the sticks?
Well, see, the sticks, you can actually use those for your purposes. The magazine, it's only visual.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, fair.
Sticks are hard, magazines are floppy. Do with that as you may.
Okay, so we'll put the magazine below the sticks, but above the MP3 players. Got it.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Kyosuke's credit card. Only Kyosuke can roll this, and it basically just gives him another weapon.
Yeah, but think about it this way. That credit card, you don't know what's in there. It could hold money of infinite value. You don't know if it's euros. You don't know how much is in there.
Well, that gets into Little Buster's spoilers, which we're not going to do this episode.
Yeah, so hypothetically, you could rule the world if you had that card. You don't know what's in it. It's gambling, basically.
So that's basically, that's S tier status right there, probably even above the car.
Yeah, it has infinite potential.
I'll take it. Fair enough. All right. Is that the tissue box we have next?
Tissues. Well, I'd like to comment that they can be using Kyosuke's credit card. You can combine those with the lotion to create an effective weapon combo in order to destroy your enemies in Little Busters.
I just realized where you were going with that.
The tissue box may also be necessary when you finish Little Busters, but we won't talk about that.
Oh yeah, I cried a lot at the end of Little Busters. Like, wait, how many weapons are even there? Over 100.
9.
Extra.
9.
We're about a third of the way through.
I would a little more than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, fair enough. The tissue box is mostly useful if combined with other weapons, but I'd still say that's like top of A level. All right. The orange cloth, or the scarf. I forget what they call it. One of the translations calls it cloth, one calls it scarf. Point is, it's a Mio exclusive weapon, and it barely does anything bottom of D.
Yeah. And as we know that Mio is very small in her capacity to fight, and that she has no physical ability, she can only read books. That's her entire route in the visual novel. So
right. Well, she doesn't participate in the baseball games, so she also has the fewest opportunities for stat boosts besides maybe Kango. But Kango already has like really high base stats where Mio does not. So yeah, there you go. I don't know what this green thing is. Teddy, can you help me out?
That is the gym net, I believe. And I think it can immobilize opponents, or immobilize.
That's right. Isn't that a Rin exclusive, or no? I can't remember.
I don't know if it's an exclusive, but it's definitely like a decent weapon. It's not top tier, but it is a decent weapon to roll.
Okay. So above or below dirt?
Dirt. Personally.
I mean, personally, I identify with dirt, so I don't want to put it above dirt.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll put
I
it
agree.
below dirt, above the staffs. No comment.
Okay, next.
All right.
So this is the Persian tiger. It's very important to note that it's Persian.
No.
It's a Persian tiger carpet.
If you guys will allow me to speak, personally,
Yeah.
I think this thing should be below F tier, should be in the lowest tier possible, because this is cat abuse. You will be found by Rin Natsume
That's
for
true.
committing this atrocious crime.
Maybe I want
Rin Natsume
Rin.
is the titular protagonist of Little Busters. This cannot be allowed to be anywhere above F tier. A tier just for it.
So I'll just make a tier called animal abuse.
Yes.
Hold
There
on.
you go.
Let me defend this one because Rin may be mad, but I want to talk about Rin's weapon. And we see this weapon a lot in her battles with Sasami, where she uses no weapon, and that weapon is her feet. And if Rin finds me for abusing this animal and kicks me in the face, I might like that because I want Rin's feet in my mouth. So I think because of that, this weapon should be S tier.
Well, personally, you take into account that Sasami also enjoys Rin's feet in her mouth. You think she does?
I don't know if she enjoys it. I think it happens. I don't think she enjoys
in my
it.
opinion. So you're definitely gonna have to think about that. That Sasami herself also likes it. So next.
I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to agree on this one. I'm just going to leave it in the animal abuse tier for now, and we can move the entire tier later if we decide.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, did we we lost half the audience. Welp.
We only lost one person, Lucia.
Oh, okay.
We lost Ham-I-Am, that's it.
Yeah, well, Ham-I-Am mostly only comes to the after parties anyway, except for the one podcast episode he was on. Shoutouts to Ham-I-Am. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, shout out to Ham-I-Am.
All right. The rubber bands. I love these things because you never know what the frick you're gonna get. Like if you're into competitive Pokemon, it's like Metronome basically.
Yeah, personally, I love rubber bands because I love when they squeeze my finger tightly. It feels very good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I know, right? But the problem is, it feels satisfying in a way. We're about to lose half the audience, aren't we?
Yeah, probably. Platty says, anybody else like the smell of rubber bands?
Yes.
And
of course.
No, I think they stink.
Personally, I also like using a rubber band as a substitute for females to cope with my crippling loneliness. So,
okay, that's enough. Let me talk about what Kyosuke said about rubber bands. He said it's okay to shoot the rubber band from your finger. Kids play like that all the time. That's the quote Kyosuke, and I think that's really cute because it reminds us of our childhoods, and not all of us had those, but I like rubber bands.
Okay, instant S tier.
Yes.
Blessed Kyosuke. All right. I'm gonna put it below marbles still, but at the bottom of S. But yeah, we'll definitely put it in S tier. All right. The pistol. We talked a little bit about this right at the beginning, but I forgot what we said.
Yeah. Did Kyosuke say anything about that weapon, Ted?
Which weapon is it? Sorry.
The pistol.
Say anything about the weapon, the pistol?
Pellet-gun? I don't think so, but that one gets rolled a lot, so I think we should give it some points just for being there for us when we need it.
Yeah.
And while the pistol may lack any real damage, as when it is used on an opponent, it barely does anything to them. That even in real life, if you use a pistol on somebody, it's not going to do anything to them. No damage done.
That's true.
So
probably useless. So we'll put it at the bottom of D then, because F tier we have to save for the one worst weapon in the game, which I actually have an actual answer for. But before we get to that, we got to talk about the balloons. The balloons are completely OP. I think the metagame has kind of decided to make like an Ubers tier where they are left out of competitive Little Busters battling, but if you roll them just in the main game, it's basically an instant win button.
So can I talk about the balloon mechanics for a minute? So the balloons, they get blown up and set as a trap, and those traps build up over time until the opponent pops them. And when the opponent pops them, it's kind of like a cluster bomb going off, and that you have a whole bunch of simultaneous explosions from all over. And that can be like very powerful and even if you do survive it, it's pretty traumatic. So I would say that's a very strong weapon, and we have 3 sizes of balloons, as we know. Bigger is better, so we'll rate them accordingly.
Got it. Fixed that order right there. But yeah, the completely overpowered. It's basically an instant win unless you are really unlucky where your opponent manages to end the battle in like 1 to 2 turns.
Yeah, and I also say that we all can personally relate to the balloon because similar to a balloon, we all have nothing but air in our heads, the podcast hosts. So
completely.
After that golf ball, there really isn't much left in my head at all. Not even air.
We got hit in the head with golf balls at like in the first minute of the podcast, and then it was all done from there. Okay, the gum. This is basically the already chewed gum. It works similar to the balloons, but it doesn't stack, so it's not completely OP. But it's still a pretty good weapon because, as we all know, gum on your shoe is like the worst possible thing that could ever happen to you.
It's disgusting, and I've lost so many pairs of shoes to gum because I don't even want to touch it. Like to imagine like the people that
I would say it's probably worse than getting shot with a gun.
Yeah, and if you will allow me to say a story from my childhood, one time I said this boy had the cooties, and he stuck a piece of gum in my ear. From that day forward, I was...
So that happened to me, but it was a girl, and she stuck it in my hair. And after that, I swore off women for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
Now I'm just picturing gum in my ear. That's disgusting.
So,
for real.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we could reasonably, just based on that story alone, I'm putting the gum in D tier, right above the gun.
Yeah.
All right. The banana peel, OP. Same kind of deal. If you roll the banana peel, it has like a 35% chance of hitting, but once it hits once, the opponent will never get back up unless they're cooed. So
yeah, and I'd also like to say that the banana peel and could have an interesting relation because before it was peeled, could usually loves those bananas. When she sticks it inside her mouth, it makes her happy in a way. So similar to the stick. So I'd say that thanks to the banana peel's relation to could and its raw power, it should be in C tier. Lucia.
But you can't use it competitively is the thing.
Oh yeah.
So we got to put it at the bottom of OP.
Yeah, it can only be used to satisfy yourself. So
yeah,
definitely down there.
Right. Onto the bucket. Now the bucket of water is it's useful. It's not particularly exciting, so I'm voting B. I'll put it right in the middle of B between the ping pong paddle and the football. The mousetrap. The mousetrap is only useful on the guys. On the girls, they are a lot better at avoiding it. And since the guys only make up 40% of the battlers, which is obviously significantly less than half.
Yes, yeah. To quote myself again, Little Busters is sexist.
So hold on, but it's a powerful weapon against the male species. I don't know if you've ever had it's stuck in a mousetrap, but it's very painful if you get stuck in a mousetrap.
I can't say that I have been stuck in a mousetrap. Have you?
No further comments will be made on this matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
We commented more on sticks than we have on mousetraps. What even is Key Radio Live? All right, so where are we putting the mousetrap?
That's hard to say. Well, in the cartoon Tom and Jerry, it's shown to not be very effective against mouse, so since Little Busters
D
is
tier.
not placed in the same place as Tom and Jerry, it should be a D tier.
I can get behind this on Wisp, but it is better than the Nagi Pie, so I'll put it between the badminton racket and the Nagi Pie.
Fair enough.
All right, cool. Hand soap and bar soap basically do the exact same thing. It's just different characters who can roll them. Both super duper useful. Especially in the hands of Mio. So I'm putting those in A, right below the MP3 players. All right. Teddy, I'm going to regret asking this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Does Kyosuke have anything interesting to say about the lotion?
Ooh.
I didn't actually get to the lotion in my notes, so I don't know for sure, but I can only imagine what he would say, especially when combined with his magazines.
All right, let's see it. Let's hear it.
Okay, you know what? I'll read off what Platty said. That's tame enough.
Platy.
Very effective in combo with tissues.
So I'll put it right next to the tissues then.
Yeah, good choice.
Where it belongs. Because if you've ever had like ashy knees and you just like need to like put some on a tissue and rub it into your legs, no, it's like when your knees like they have all like the flaky skin on them and they're very dry.
Oh, okay. Kind of, I've never had that happen.
You know, you need lotion then. Yes, rub the tissue into your leg, as Kai said.
Yeah.
Yep. Great. All right. The paint roller. Now, the paint roller is another important one from the anime. If you've seen the Little Busters OVA, and if you have not seen the Little Busters OVA, watch the Little Busters OVA. It's really funny.
Yeah, I recommend watching the Little Busters OVA too.
Yeah, it's really funny. It goes in between the first season and the second season is where it was released, but timeline-wise, it goes in between Haruka and Kud arc, so you can put it either way. But anyway, the paint roller, freaking fantastic thing. It's really, really useful, and I would say it's even more useful to cover somebody in paint than to cover them in tissues and lotion.
Yeah.
So I would put it at the top of A.
Alternatively, cover the paint roller in lotion and then roll it all over Lucia.
Is that?
I mean, it's a theoretical combination, but I think it would violate the mechanics.
Combination, but we're talking about Little Busters, not rewrite. Lucia is not a playable character, unless we talk about mods. But this is,
You know what? I might just have to make a mod for Little Busters just for this.
Yeah, personally, I already use a mod for Little Busters. It's called the I'm gonna shorten it. It's called the X mod. So personally, I recommend that mod to all viewers. So yes.
I've never heard of that.
Fair. We'll talk a little bit more about that after in the post show. Yeah, the part that's not being recorded.
Yeah, personally, I believe that Lucia will verbally abuse us in the post show thanks to our naughty actions in Key Radio Live already. So yeah.
This is going to be an interesting episode to edit. I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
All right, the brooms.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with these. They are the most boring thing you can roll, pretty much.
Okay, well, I'll start with the fact that they have sticks in them and the sticks are long.
Okay, but you don't use them as a stick. You use the broom end as a weapon because that's how the game was programmed.
But it's also nice to be tickled with the end of a broom.
Ew, that's been on the floor. Teddy, I'm going to overrule you on this one. We're putting the brooms at the bottom of D tier.
Hold on, let me defend this.
Count that Lucia is abusing his outfit.
I'm going to go with what Platty said, which is exactly what I was going to say before you rudely interrupted me. But feet have been on the floor and the broom touches the floor. That's like indirect contact with feet. So if someone tickled my face with a broom, I wouldn't be that mad. In fact, I might be a little happy.
Yeah, excellent.
You make a good point.
Yeah.
So what do we think? Being tickled with a broom is better or being worse than being stung with a bunch of sea urchins?
Personally, I prefer to be done with a bunch of sea urchins since they can do more risky things since they're living things. So
Oh,
yeah.
good point. Okay, so we'll put the brooms in C below the basket of sea urchins and above the tennis racket. All right. The map. I've never rolled the map. I don't actually know what it does.
Well, the map, you could use it to locate what we call. Will you allow me to say a quote that has secret in it from Little Busters, Lucia?
As long as it's not a spoiler for anything beyond the common realm.
Well, it's something that people had to find at a part in the Little Busters. It has secret in it and of in it.
Oh.
Can I say that?
Okay. Yeah.
So the map, it can be used to locate the secret of the world. So that's why it should be an automatic S tier.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So we'll put it up there.
And in the code, Ricky cannot use it because somebody has to make his life harder. So that's why.
Yeah, so I think because of that, somebody who has to make his life harder, I'm going to put it in between Kyosuke's credit card and the car.
Yes.
All right, cool. We agree on that.
Well, you want me to call him Rick Plating?
Riki is how we should be saying it, but I don't know.
All right. So Ricky, Ricky said that he wants us to do the next weapon now.
So fireworks, there's three variants here. There's the firecrackers, there's the bottle rockets, and there's the fireworks launcher. And Kyosuke did comment on all of these, but he's left the same comment for all of them, and I'll add a little to that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's actually dangerous to point fireworks at someone. Don't try this at home, Kyosuke.
Yeah. Okay, I just like to say, don't try any of these weapons at home. Especially the stick. That's dangerous.
There's one you can try at home, but we haven't gotten to it yet. I'll mention it when we get there.
Yeah,
I promise.
We'll get to that soon.
Yeah, I think you know which one I'm talking about, Wisp.
Yes.
All right. So the fireworks. Here's the thing: they incrementally become more powerful with each one, but also harder to roll. So What are we prioritizing here? Damage output or usability?
I mean, the bigger the better with fireworks, as with anything. So,
okay.
I've seen the fireworks launcher used once, and that thing does damage. Like
it wrecks shit. Yeah.
We should also take into account that the fireworks can be. There's 3 of them, so you can use them for all 3 of your skies. Humans have not classified skies yet, but there's the eastern sky, the western sky, and the other sky. So just stick those fireworks into all 3 of those skies.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I think it's fair to put the fireworks in A tier. I can't necessarily put them above the sticks and the magazine, but I'll put them above the MP3 players in order of biggest to smallest.
Yeah.
There we go. Done.
Next.
All right, the RC car. We have 2 variants of this. As far as I know, they're completely identical, except for who can roll them.
Yeah. Well, personally, I think that the car has, since it is tinier than per se a bus or train, it has less of a chance to crash. So therefore, it's safer. That's all I have to say.
Okay, that's true. It is a car is safer. So, and as we know, safer is good. Would you say it is safer than a gun?
It's safer than a stick, but
it is safer than a stick. More dangerous than a gun. So let's put it in C somewhere, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of C, right below the chalk.
Yes.
All right, cool. The model airplane. This is a Kud and Mio exclusive weapon, and it is very useful.
Well, I like to call it underrated because it supports an underrated ship. Like, you don't walk into let's say the Clannad server and say like, "Oh, I support Kud X Mio." You just don't do that. So
Right.
I'd call it very underrated.
So there's a thing about the plane though, and the other two papercraft items is that before they can be used, they actually have to be folded up. If I recall correctly.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and they take different amounts of turns to actually fold them. And
Yeah.
Key Concept has just confirmed that in chat. So,
Yes.
all right. So I think that knocks them down at least one tier. So because of that, I would put them below the Gundams, because as we all know, you don't have to spend any time at all building Gundams. So
Yeah.
we'll put those right below the Gundams at the bottom of B. And Spiral has added a bit to this too. The paper. Oh, there are 4 papercraft items. The papercraft items are awful once people have high stats. Manpig missed my joke about the Gundams. That you don't have to spend any time building the Gundams, but you
Don't
do have
worry.
to spend time on the origami. So
If this was just my opinion personally, I'd put Gundams in F tier to personally attack Manpig, and because Gundam is mid.
ooh, don't attack Manpig. That's not nice. Manpig contributes a lot.
Kyosuke actually left a comment for our papercraft items. I'll just read it off real quick.
Go for it.
Just go ahead and throw it after you're done folding it. It's just paper, anyways. It doesn't.
It's
they're
beautiful.
disposable, and you have to fold them. But as always, his words are art, and we can give him like a little bonus for that.
I'm going to go on a tiny little tangent, even though we've obviously done a great job on this episode staying on topic.
Yeah.
Wait, that wasn't a joke. What? Anyway, so one little tangent is that one time I was streaming Little Busters in the server, and I actually was just going through all of Kyosuke's blog, and I want to share my favorite entry. Someone asks Kyosuke, I'd like to play baseball a lot, but I always get hit with the ball. How do you avoid getting hit with the ball when you play baseball? And Kyosuke had the most delightful response to this question. I catch it with my ass cheeks. And that is, in fact, not a shit post and actually in the script of Little Busters.
Listen. Okay, listen. We all know that Kyosuke has a flat ass. So he is.
No, he does not. No,
Yes,
have
he
you
does.
seen
Don't make
have
me
you
find
seen
that-
his official docky? He's the only
show me
key
the-
boy with an official docky. I can't post it. It's not
me.
safe for work. But
So show me in DMs. I'd like to go off topic just for this. I refuse to accept that. We all know that Ricky has a fatter buttocks than Kyosuke.
oh yeah, Ricky's still bigger, but
Yeah. We all know Ricky makes up for what's up there or how big it is down there. So yeah.
well, if Ricky was small down there, he wouldn't be the only double digits man in Kaginato. So
Yeah.
I think Ricky is cute and Kyosuke is hot. So
pretty much.
I think Masato is a blend of both cute and hot.
Yeah, right in between. All right, we got to get back on topic. All right, sticky tape. We have 3 variants of sticky tape. The blue one is the only one that everyone can roll. The other 2 are exclusive to certain characters.
Well, here's the thing. The golden tape can be considered this is a Pokemon theme list. The golden tape can be considered a shiny. So as a
Ooh,
shiny,
yeah. It's not
Pokemon.
quite as rare as a shiny, but
And when you let's say you want to trade it with a friend using your Game Boy Black and White color, you could trade this and it'll be worth way more. You could get like a legendary Pokemon using that.
right.
Shiny.
So
it's also of note that all 3 forms of tape are capable of immobilizing the opponent, which, as we know, prevents them from attacking. So there's some good utility there.
I would definitely agree with that. And because of that, I'm going to put all of the tape in S tier in between the marbles and the rubber bands.
Yeah.
I think that's where we'll throw those.
Yeah. Next is what is that?
Oh, the glue. 2 forms of glue. One's a glue stick, the other's crazy glue. The crazy glue is exclusive to Kud and Mio because of the Science Club. We're
just keeping everything except the last part. I'm kind of voicing the last part, a different version.
Hey, I'll keep as much as I can of this. All right.
Okay.
In all seriousness, though, the glue is actually a very useful weapon. The crazy glue is basically the regular glue, but more powerful, but exclusive to certain characters. I would put the glue in definitely somewhere near high A.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna put it. I don't know. Let's put it between the magazine and the fireworks, and the crazy glue higher than the regular glue. There we go. This is actually, and like as the tier list is coming together, I'm realizing that the Little Busters meta is actually quite balanced. You know, A has more than everything else, but still, that's pretty useful.
Yeah. Personally, I think it's balanced thanks to the genius decision of Akira Toriyama to come in and step in and edit for it.
True.
As in his series Dragon Ball Z, Naruto edition. I mean Naruto Ball Z. Every character in it is balanced. So yeah, edit any mistake I make with talking out. By the way.
I will maybe do that if I feel like it. Toothpaste. I've never rolled this. I don't know what it does.
Yeah, so as we know, Lucia doesn't have very good hygiene since he's never rolled or used toothpaste.
Well, this is an anime server, so like good hygiene is very much a privilege for the few users that have it.
Yeah,
you have both seen pictures of my feet. You know I have good hygiene.
Yeah,
you're right. I would lick them.
Since Lucia has rotten yellow teeth because he doesn't use toothpaste, this could be considered an insult to Key itself, since Lucia is the owner here. So press the F tier.
All right, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
So the next two are our normal toothbrush and our electric toothbrush. They're both useful for brushing teeth. But the electric toothbrush can brush teeth with electricity, and I think that's pretty cool. So it should probably be A tier.
Yeah.
Should probably be A tier. I would agree with that. I'm going to put both of them at the bottom of A, but the electric toothbrush higher. In terms of how functionality in the game, the electric toothbrush is interestingly almost identical to the regular toothbrush, but it is unable to be rolled by Masato because Masato doesn't know how to use anything with electricity.
What's the next one?
The oven mitts. These are boring, useless.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put them at the bottom of C. Chopsticks are OP. They are the most powerful weapon in the game. I don't understand what the reasoning behind this is, but they are actually higher damage output than the balloons.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add on that looking at it from a distance, it resembles what you used to test for COVID-19. So it should also be a bit more higher. So I'd say give it a tier.
Yeah. All right. Well, I put it at the top of OP. So, now I'm just imagining shoving a chopstick up the nose. Yeah, what Platty said. That's disgusting. Ew, Teddy wouldn't be the first. I can't. Are all the character-specific ones coming last? No, they are peppered throughout.
We're doing them in the ones that Lucia's likes order. So as we know, the stick is high was one of the first because he likes that a lot.
True, and that's actually accurate with some of the ones that are at the bottom. And there are also a few in the tier list that don't actually appear in the game. And also, they are actually just in the order they appear in the code. So, did Orpy just join?
Hey, Orbido, what's up?
No, Orby's not in here. Oops. All right, tongs. The ones you cook with, guys.
Oh, I thought it was the other one. All right.
Yeah.
Personally, I have no idea what a tong is, but I know it rhymes with the. I mean,
you use them to grill burgers. Like if you're too cool for a spatula, you grab them with the tongs to flip the burgers.
Yeah, I'm American. How could I not know?
It's so you don't melt your hand when you grab the burger.
Yeah. I mean, like, you've all seen, you two probably haven't, but I'm from the American South, so I go to Waffle House a lot, and they just scramble eggs with their fingers.
I've been to a Waffle House. Yeah.
You've been to a Waffle House. Okay, so They don't use tongs at the Waffle House.
Yeah, and also, since me and Lucia are both born New Yorkers,
Right.
Ted's opinion now has 0.5 of the vote, while the rest of us have
Only on this weapon.
yes.
All right, and I say the tongs are high A. I would put them above the sticks because they're more useful.
Yeah. Next
Puts
is
Waffle House on the list of places not to visit. Platty, remind me to send you a video after the podcast. That's really funny. So, all right. The pliers.
Well, one time, a doctor used this to ply my toenails off. So I don't think this should be. I don't want to talk about this right now.
So they're like the nail clippers, but even more effective, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So, I'll put them in B because the damage output is low, but they are very good at lowering the opponent's morale. So, because if you get hit with these things, you can still fight, but you're going to be cringing a lot. So I'll put them at the B right below the newspaper, and I'll also grab the toenail clippers, which are in a bit farther down, and put them right below the pliers.
Yeah. I also like to say that the plier, when used on the eye, does a large area of effect damage to every person around looking at it. When used on one person's eye.
True. Yeah, which explains why they're not very effective against Kurugaya, because Kurugaya doesn't look when she's fighting. Interesting. Okay. Laundry pegs. These are completely useless.
Wait,
Bottom
can
of
you
F
repeat
tier.
that?
Laundry pegs.
Oh, the peg?
Yeah.
So one of them is the laundry peg, and the other is the aluminum peg. They're both useless because you just clip them on the other person, and they don't do any damage.
Yeah.
Like I tried, they don't do damage.
Well, they lower their speed, and so the really only usable strategy with them is to clip them onto the other person and basically wait for the turn limit to run out.
Yeah.
It's at best you can hope for a stalemate so you don't move down the rankings. So completely useless F tier. The fan works the same way as the laundry peg, but actually does damage.
Well,
so
I'd like to add on that the fan, when we're talking about keywords, is the best keyword because Cloudnad may have saved my life. Like, let's say Summer Pocket saved Yutori life, but the fan saved my life by keeping me from succumbing to the great heat. Cloudnad saved my life by being a great story, but the fan was far more effective.
Yeah.
So I'd call it B tier.
Okay.
Mid.
I'll put it above the newspaper though, at the top of B, but below the toothbrush.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The toy knife is it's a weapon. It doesn't do much.
I mean, honestly, it does do damage, so I'd say it's at least mid.
Yeah. And
all right, we'll put it in B.
And thanks to digging through the code, me and the others, we found that the game hides this from you, but the toy knife is a weapon exclusive to Could because she is a child, even though many might not know that. So only Could can use
yeah. No, Masato can roll it too, but Cood's the only one of the girls.
Yeah, and the toy knife is also very effective on Could, so definitely try it.
Yeah. Luckily, Little Busters is not a fighting game where you can have a character face each other. So
Knife versus dog, dog.
Definitely dog. All right, the pirate barrel. This is another iconic one from the anime. It is completely useless, but it's freaking funny whenever someone rolls it.
Yeah.
But it is, I don't know if it's a Masato exclusive, but it is a Masato forced roll in the game's story mode, which no one plays the story mode, but you know.
I'd like to say that Sister Barrow is one of those kind of people that doesn't do consent. It should be a tier lower than it would usually be.
Okay, so I was going to put it in C, but I think because you said that, and that's a really good point, I'll put it in D, in between the scarf and the gum.
even though most of our members aren't people who would do consent, that doesn't make it right.
Okay, no, that's not fair. It's
That
really
one,
just Orby.
Yes. Yeah.
poor Orby is just getting crapped on so much. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Could use his toy knife on Orby. All right, next weapon.
The boxing gloves. The boxing gloves are actually really, really good and really useful, but freaking hard to roll. So I think they should go somewhere in A. I would probably still put them below dirt, but above the gym net. What do you guys think?
Well,
Boxing gloves don't taste as good as dirt.
Yeah, so below the dirt, but I think they taste
Yeah.
better than a gym net because they got foam in them, where the gym net is like all wiry.
Yeah, and I'd like to say that when Rin puts on the boxing gloves against Sasami, personally, it buffs her, but it still has no effect since Sasami is better than Rin. So,
Oh,
so
you
it's,
if
I put it in
Wisp,
B, but I respect A.
you have said so many things today that will piss people off. That's probably the worst thing you said.
Yeah,
This entire episode.
yeah. Don't worry, guys. Remember, as a host, my opinion is factually correct, and none of you have the right to oppose me. Don't worry.
Yep.
My YouTube channel will be in the description once it's uploaded to YouTube. So, yeah, feel free to comment on my video, Beijing Corn.
Oh my
Subscribe
god.
and
Like, comment, subscribe. All right. The paddle, the boat paddle. It's about the same as the broom, but instead of being tickled, you get more stabbed. So.
So, as someone who's actually been hit by a boat paddle in real life, they can do a lot of damage to your skull, especially when like swung over the head like a claymore. I don't mess with those personally.
All right, so I think we have to put it higher than C then.
Yeah.
Where somewhere it goes somewhere in B because the damage output's pretty high, but it's hard to roll. Only a few characters can get it.
Yeah.
I'd still, because of its accessibility, I'd put it above the toy knife, but below the toenail clippers.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
If you guys don't mind, could we do the last few ones a bit faster?
Yeah, sure.
Unfortunately, I might have to leave. I might have to go.
Well, luckily there isn't a whole lot left. A lot of these are not actually super useful, but the 3-section staff, that one's an iconic one from the anime that definitely goes very high. It's especially useful against the Nagi Pie. So I'm going to put it right at the tippy top of A.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to do all of Ren's cats on my own so I can say everyone last of their names. My favorite one is his name starts with H.
Oh my god.
Don't worry. We'll cross that when we get there. Next.
Okay. All right. The sponge, or is that the blackboard eraser?
That is the blackboard eraser, and it can blind opponents with the chalkboard dust.
Right. So I'm gonna put it put it above the chalk because it can also be used as a projectile where the chalk cannot. And then we have the sleeping bag. The sleeping bag is very useful for immobilizing opponents and also does a lot of damage. It's basically just a weaker version of the banana peel. So it's not also, OP.
In the Could Wafter movie, the sleeping bag was very effective, provided a very big healing and giving factor during Ricky and Cood's extended use of it in the Could Wafter movie.
Ooh, true. Yeah. All right, the Stag Beetle.
So this one is important to note because Yosuke left a note about this one.
Okay.
I said his name wrong again, but he said it's a weapon of great potential against girls who hate bugs, and we know who hates bugs. That's Komari.
Yeah.
Well,
poor Komari. I love Komari.
I think. No, okay. Nobody asked.
So. Oh, ouch.
So the Stag Beetle, I'd put it in S tier. Because Komari hates it.
I can agree with that. And Komari is obviously the most powerful of the little busters, so a weapon that can take down the most powerful little buster is definitely an S tier weapon.
And I'd also like to add, since we are doing we're not doing on the weapon specifically, we're doing combat technically. I'd like to say that Komari has a status effect called the Shiwase Spiral that allows her to buff every single weapon in the game.
Right, not to
So,
be confused with Shiwase Spiral, the user. Shoutouts to
yeah,
Spiral. We'll have to have
yeah,
him on
Mas-
for an episode later.
yeah.
A
Masato can
less
also use
shitposty one, probably.
to end the topic of status effects. Masato also has a nerfed version of the Shiwase Spiral known as the Kinu Sensation that
Right.
buffs the weapons that are exclusive to him.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah, next
Good
weapon.
stuff. All right. The magic kit. It's a Kyosuke exclusive weapon. It's not particularly good.
Yeah.
Which is weird that the second strongest member of the Little Busters only exclusive weapon is actually kind of lame.
Yeah. And I'd also like to add that during the early days of the Little Busters community, it was rumored that when Kyosuke uses the magic box, he always utters the same phrase, "Lolly lolly hunters," but it has not been confirmed.
Oh my
All right,
god,
next one.
someone is going to cut out you saying that and play it at your wedding. Like, it's going to be amazing. All right, the statue. I believe this is unused. Teddy, can you confirm that?
In my test, I never ran across it, but to be fair, I haven't completed EX, so maybe it gets unlocked.
Okay.
Well, I'd say I've actually managed to roll it thanks to a glitch. Back in the
Ooh.
original Pokemon, it's a similar glitch on how to get Mew, but slightly different.
Right, because
So-
that version of Little Busters is obviously the most buggy and it's kind of a
Yeah.
mess. So, how useful
Yeah.
is it? Is it viable? Is it viable in
Yeah.
the competitive scene?
And by the way, I'd like to say I'm sorry for not sharing this with you guys. So, to activate the glitch, I just had to do the Mew glitch, but fight the girl instead of the guy. So when I used it, it overwhelmingly destroyed every opponent except Kurugaya, because Kurugaya used her special ability, Steel, in order to use the statue and make everybody bend to her will. So I say be
Typical
careful when you use
Kurugaya.
it in random encounters, because you don't want to encounter Kurugaya with the statue.
Yeah,
I'll put a guide on how to get it in the chat, how to get the statue.
okay.
Yeah.
So I would call it mid A. Then I'm gonna put it, below the soap, but above the golf ball. Then.
Yeah.
So the next one we have is the Prism Experiment Kit, which is pretty interesting because it's capable of producing 7 different colors of light, and that's basically 7 weapons in one.
Yeah.
And it's also rainbow colors. And no
Right.
further comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is, it appears differently. It's like catching Spinda. They appear different, but each color of light is functionally identical and equally mid. So I'm going to put it in C.
Yeah.
All right, the 3D glasses are the worst weapon in the game. They are basically an instant lose button. We're just going to call it, it needs a tier to itself as FF.
But listen, but in Key, a lot of the times you can still sympathize with the worst heroine in the Key visual novel. Like you can do that. You can change.
You
I'd say-
can, but why would you?
I mean, think about it. You see others like, let's say, May in Clannad. You eventually get to like her too after becoming more of a degenerate. So I'd say it's the same case for the
don't.
3D glasses.
All right, we'll call it FF/degenerate.
Yes,
There we go.
Yeah.
I can accept this.
is gonna look horrible.
So
All right.
the next weapon is
camera.
the camera, and it actually does 0 damage, but it is capable of taking pictures of someone in combat, and that can destroy one's self-esteem, which is infinitely more valuable than killing someone. So I think we should give it some points for that.
I would definitely agree with that.
Yes.
All right. The toilet paper, obviously the most versatile weapon in the game. because it's completely dependent on how much you roll before having to use the toilet paper.
Yeah. I'd like to speed through the final ones.
Okay,
I might
so
go-
toilet paper goes where?
D tier.
Cool.
Alright.
The clicker right next to the toilet paper because it functions the same way. The dice I've never rolled.
So
All right.
the dice. There's an important one with the dice.
Yeah.
So according to Kyosuke, rolling the same numbers equals your opponent's death, and that's all he says. So if you roll like doubles, in theory, the opponent should instantly die. I
Okay,
haven't
so
seen it
rolling
happen 'cause they're
doubles
pretty
is better
rare.
than taking pictures of people in a locker room, then, I would say. So I'll put it above the
Yeah.
camera at the top of A.
I'd like to do all the cats myself, including Dorge, so I'm just gonna say their names and then I'll put the tier.
Go for it.
Start with the first cat. His name is the Hunter, Fabre, Audrey, Cobain, Tezuka, Gates, Einstein, Fyodor, Goku, Jackie, Chan, Yuseko. Morale can be boosted with food and that's it.
Yeah, so the cats, their morale can be boosted with food. That's just like an important thing to note.
And
It gives them an incredible power up. This is cats are exclusive to Rin, so that's a thing as well.
Dorge, I'd put him in the lowest tier possible due to the fact that he's universally disliked by the key community.
We love cats.
Excuse you, I love Dorge. Dorge is like a fluffy pillow.
Okay, so the thing about Dorge is that he's a weapon. He's massive. He has mass, and he's capable of destruction, and that would make him a weapon of mass destruction. So I think Dorge should be S tier, or just make a whole own tier for him called WMD.
Yeah,
see,
perfect.
I'd use the Dorge on Asuka in order to completely obliterate her for being so mid. That's all.
You're gonna find a fork in your pillow.
All right.
I eat ice cream with a fork.
Ew.
What?
Right.
This should not be news. All right. We only have a couple more after Dorge. Because
let's just speedrun these.
It stops at the dogs because everything after the dogs is stuff that's in the code but not actually used in game. So we can stop after the dogs.
That's not true. The Science Club weapons are used in game.
Okay, so for Club Penguin,
that's true.
For Club Penguin, I believe that this incites
Komari
memories
exclusive.
of Busters for that. No, it's not.
It's not.
This can be used to incite nostalgia because as a Club Penguin player, it finally gave me the social interaction my parents never gave me, or my classmates. So I put it in S tier.
Okay, I can accept this.
Okay, so the next one we have is Komari's Notebook, which is in fact an incredibly powerful weapon because it's capable of writing cute stories, and that's a Komari exclusive.
It's also capable of making the people who read them cry.
Yeah, and also Shirsei Spiral, the user, is also known to write in this book when nobody's looking. So that's just a random fact I'd like to say.
Makes it even cuter.
Next, we have the replica of Norame, which is extremely sexy, a Kuragaya exclusive. Once again, I'll say it's extremely sexy, and
I also like this
decent.
And also, this sword is used in a scene exclusive to Little Buster's Ecstasy with Kuragaya's art. So personally, that puts it up there for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it above the dice, I think.
Yeah. All right. What is that?
That's a machine gun, and I believe that can only be used against the Science Club weapons because that's the only time I've ever seen it rolled. And it fires off 6 shots that do about 50 damage each. So that's 300 damage if all the shots hit, which they often do. And that's quite a powerful burst right there.
Now, the thing is, like, a weapon this powerful normally would belong in OP, but considering it's probably the rarest role in the game that you can actually get, we could say it's an S tier weapon and actually be able to use it.
Yeah, and for the final three for the night, I put the dogs in lots of balls here. Here's why. Because the dogs, when paired with lots of balls and used by Cud, can be extremely effective in destroying the enemies and Cud herself.
Ooh,
Just like a
true.
kamikaze. So I put
Yeah.
balls in lots of balls. What about you, Ted and Lucia?
I definitely agree with that. And
I
I'm
mean, I
going
think we're gonna have to base this decision on whether or not they're neutered.
they're girls.
Well, I suppose they have female balls then, so we'll put them in the lots of balls category.
Are we gonna end the cast here? Because I have to.
So I'll go over. So this that one with the kanji in it. That's a real thing that I've rolled before. It's called like a. I have it in the notes if I can find it. It is a
okay.
real thing though.
I
It's
did
called
not know that.
it's called a Begoma. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but it's like it was a Japanese toy, and it's actually what inspired Beyblades. Believe it or not.
I believe it. Yeah, it's like the little
Alright.
pull string thing.
Yeah. Then we have the umbrella. Some another probably a hentai magazine, honestly, but I don't think I've seen that before. And then we have the 6 science club weapons, and I believe these are computer virus, lightsaber. One of these is a rocket launcher, I think, and you have like a laser gun. They're pretty powerful. So so actually I have them here. It's the electromagnetic barrier, which is the one with the pig in it. The cyber yo-yo, the computer virus. Actually, send a picture of these right now so you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably stay in podcast, but I'll mute. I'll unmute occasionally since I will be busy.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks for being here, Wisp.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay as a host. Just gonna unmute occasionally.
Yeah, you're
But
good.
all of these weapons are extremely powerful, but the thing is, they're only activated when the Mio Science Club sequence happens, and then they become available to Mio, and they give her a pretty big buff considering she's the weakest character. So I think these should be in a category of their own, honestly.
I've actually already done that, so which you could see when this episode goes up on YouTube, which will be probably never, because this is the most problematic episode we've ever done of this podcast. But it's okay.
It's all right. We can put it on my YouTube channel. It's been there for a while.
Oh, got it. All right, well, that's it. Start playing competitive Little Busters. We're a small community right now, but I would love to see this thing grow. If you wanna get into the game, join the Keyverse Discord server. We have a really, really cool community of people just getting into competitive Little Busters battling, and it's gonna be a blast, a grand old time here.
And it's very interesting to learn about the meta. Like, it can be explored even further beyond what we've talked about today.
Oh yeah. This was just scratching the surface of the 117 weapons you can roll in the game.
If for those who get really good, you may also fight what's his name?
Oh, that's spoilers. I don't think we could talk about that. That's story mode spoilers.
No. Let me just say his name rhymes with Ham I Am.
Okay.
Yeah. Good luck. You can also try facing him in Halo mode and get demolished.
Oh.
Can we talk about Rin's feet a little more, because I think those are a very effective weapon.
And on that note, thanks for joining us. This has been Key Radio Live. Whisperic and FalconTed have joined me. Good night, everybody.